Hey, Dr. Leverins here. We're going to be talking about the Capriccio Espagnol excerpt from Rimsky-Korsakov. So, a fun piece for sure. It's going to be on the faster side. It's the quarter note getting 144. As we look at this, we don't see a time signature in our excerpt we have in front of us. But we are in 2/4, so we're getting 2 quarter notes per measure, right? So that's how we want to be counting this. We have 1 sharp. It's our F sharp, so it'll be a 4 on the D string, and 2 on the A string because that's C natural. So make sure we're not carrying that 4 over. Another thing we'll end up in here, it's mostly in first position, but we do have E flats. So we're going to have to pop into half position to get those E flats low enough for us right there. All right, so watching out for those E flat accidentals. Once we're done with those E flats, just get back to first position. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. Don't hang out in half position for too long. We're just going back there for the E flats. I'll play through this. We'll talk about some of the nuances here. Alright, so it gets moving quick. The big thing we don't want to do is hold the eighth notes too long, especially in the first measure we have in our excerpt, measure 98. If we hold eighth notes too long, we'll get off tempo. They need to be short, get to the quarter note on the and to 1 right there. Long eighth notes lead to something like it just slows the tempo down. We start getting bogged down. So we want them nice, short, crisp. The note we're focusing on is that quarter, okay? So we need to be keeping the metronome going in the brain. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 dun 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 1 Right? So we're on the ands a couple times in just that first measure when we start. 1 and, right? The quarter note's on an and, the eighth note at the end of the bar is on an and as well. So keeping that running inside of our brain. Nice and light on the eighth. Should have been E natural. Anyway, it's the short eighth note there, right? That's what we're looking at. We want to make it crisp, not sluggish, right? We don't need a big long eighth note there, just short eighths. Those short eighth notes are going to help our tempo, keep the passage moving real nice and clean for us. We also have, like I said, the E flats come into play after the rehearsal number 106, second measure after that, and then the fourth measure after that. So being ready for it, getting to half, getting right back. I'll go a little slower. We're in first. On this open G, get back to half. There's our E flat, get back to first. Open, open, because we need the B natural. Open, D, G, D, back to half. 1, O, and then I stop the G on the D string. A, it'll make the eighth note a little snappier, which is much more characteristic of the piece. But also, the last measure of the excerpt here, we have a fermata over a half note, and if we're on a G right here, we can give it a little vibrato and sound a little warmer. It's going to have a much more polished, professional sound to it. If we just leave it open on the end, it's not as focused, there's no vibrato. It's up to you, whatever works for you. But the stopped G on the D string, I choose my 1 finger, so I go to third position to play that G right there, just because my 1 finger vibrato is a lot easier than like my 4th finger. 4th finger's weak, doesn't tend to vibrato as well as that 1st finger. I get a much better oscillation. We do have a crescendo in here. We're going from forte to fortissimo. right there, a measure before 106, 105 is what some might call it. Bring that out. We have nothing but open D string eighth notes right there, right? So we can really make each eighth note a little bit louder. So let's go 1, 2, 3 measures before rehearsal 106. So it'll be 103 right there. Just try and drive a little bit more through those eighth notes into 106 right there. Big thing here, time. Just keeping the rhythm right. Ba 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 ba. That's what we want to be listening for, and exactly why we want to make sure we have shorter, crisper eighth notes on those downbeats and getting to the quarter note in time. It's going to be moving a little quicker. So having a short eighth note will keep us moving quicker. Long eighth notes slow everybody down. All right. Hope this is helpful. Focus on timing the most. Make sure you're making those half position movements. We do go to a C natural once, right? Measure 103. Make sure we have a 2 there on the D string. That's where our F sharp is. And we don't even have an F sharp in the excerpt. So just keep that in mind. When we get to the A string, it's a 2. Everything else is a lot of G, first finger on D for the E, open D. That's a lot of this piece. So the big thing that we're looking for is that we find that E flat when it's marked, and we keep that rhythm integrity, right? The integrity of the rhythm. Ba, 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 ba. Short eights when we have those offbeat rhythms to start. Hope you all enjoy. Happy practicing.